I never thought I'd be the guy whose life falls apart in a single moment. But there I was, standing in my own bedroom, roses in one hand, champagne in the other, watching my wife, my world, tangled in our sheets with another man. My heart shattered, but what came next was worse. She didn't just betray me. She tried to destroy me. This is the story of how I survived, fought back, and won. If you've ever been betrayed or love a story where justice hits hard, stick around and hit that subscribe button. You won't believe how this unfolds. My name's Ethan, and I'm 36 now, but let's rewind to where it all started. Growing up, life wasn't kind. Picture a kid bouncing between foster homes, never quite fitting in, always wondering what a real family felt like. My childhood was a patchwork of hand-me-down clothes, empty fridges, and promises that never materialized. By 18, I swore I'd build something better, a life where I wasn't just surviving, but thriving. Wow. Fast forward to 2015. I'm 26, working as an IT specialist, pulling late nights to climb the ladder. I wasn't rich, but I was stable. And for a kid like me, that felt like a miracle. That's when I met Lisa. It started with a DM on Instagram. I'd posted a photo of a sunset from a hiking trail, captioned with some cheesy quote about chasing dreams. She slid into my messages with, "Is that quote from a movie or just you trying to sound deep?" I laughed, typed back, and we didn't stop talking for days. Lisa was magnetic. Blonde hair that caught the light, a laugh that made strangers smile, and this way of looking at you like you were the only person in the room. She was a graphic designer, always sketching in a little notebook she carried everywhere. We'd meet for coffee, then dinner, then long walks where we'd talk about everything. Her love for old jazz records, my obsession with sci-fi novels, our shared dream of a quiet life someday. 2 years later, I proposed on that same hiking trail under a sunset just like the one in my photo. She said yes, and I felt like I'd won the lottery. We got married in a small ceremony, her in a simple white dress, me in a suit I'd saved for months to afford. We bought a fixer-upper in the suburbs, a little brick house with a sagging porch and a backyard big enough for the dog we planned to get. I'd lie awake at night, her head on my chest, thinking, this is it. This is what I fought for. My rough childhood, the years of grinding, it all led to this: a home, a partner, a future. But cracks started showing, and I was too blind to see them for what they were. The first year of marriage was messy but good. We argued over small stuff, whose turn it was to do dishes, why I worked late, why she spent hours on her phone. Normal couple stuff, right? I'd apologize, she'd laugh it off, and we'd move on. But by year two, something shifted. Lisa started staying out late, claiming client meetings or girls' nights. She'd come home smelling like wine, her phone buzzing nonstop. I'd ask, everything okay? And she'd snap, God, Ethan, stop smothering me. I backed off, thinking she needed space. Then her dad got sick. Cancer, aggressive. I tried to be there, driving her to the hospital, holding her when she cried. When he passed, it broke her. I thought time would heal it, but she grew colder, distant. She'd sit on the couch, staring at nothing, or lash out over nothing. Like the time I forgot to buy milk, and she screamed, "You're so useless," before storming out. I suggested therapy. She rolled her eyes but agreed to one session. The therapist, a kind older woman, asked about our communication. Lisa called her a scammer and walked out mid-session. I went back alone, desperate to fix things. The therapist said, Ethan, you can't save a marriage by yourself. I didn't want to hear it. I clung to memories of Lisa, the woman who danced with me in the kitchen, to Ella Fitzgerald, who'd leave little sketches on my desk with notes like, don't work too hard, nerd. Then came the day that changed everything. It was a Tuesday, 6 months after her dad's death. I was on a work trip in Chicago, troubleshooting a server crash for my company. We fixed it faster than expected, so I caught an early flight home, thinking I'd surprise Lisa. I stopped at a florist for roses, a liquor store for champagne, and a bakery for her favorite chocolates. I was practically grinning as I pulled into our driveway, her car parked out front. The house was quiet, too quiet. I called her name, no answer. I climbed the stairs, my heart pounding with this stupid, hopeful excitement. I opened our bedroom door and froze. Lisa was in our bed, tangled in the sheets with a guy I'd never seen before. Dark hair, gym rat build, smirking like he owned the place. The roses slipped from my hand, petals scattering on the floor. The champagne bottle hit the carpet with a dull thud. Lisa looked up, not startled, not ashamed, just annoyed. "Why are you even back?" she said, pulling the sheet over herself. I couldn't speak. My chest felt like it was caving in. The guy scrambled for his clothes, muttering, "I'll call you, babe," before slipping past me. Lisa just sat there, arms crossed, like I was the one intruding. "Lisa, what the hell?" My voice cracked. She sighed like I was exhausting her. "You drove me to this, Ethan. You and your boring routine, your clingy neediness. I asked for an open marriage months ago. You said no. What did you expect?" I remembered that conversation, 3 months earlier over dinner. She'd brought it up casually, like it was no big deal. I'd laughed, thinking it was a joke, then realized she was serious. I told her I wasn't wired that way, that marriage meant commitment. She dropped it, or so I thought. Now, standing in our bedroom, I felt like an idiot. "You could have talked to me," I said. "You could have left. Why this?" She laughed, a cold, sharp sound. "Because I wanted to, and I still do." I grabbed a duffel bag, stuffed some clothes in it, and walked out. I didn't look back, even when she shouted, "Good luck finding someone who puts up with you." I crashed at my buddy Mark's place. He poured me a whiskey and said, "Get a lawyer, now." I did. The divorce was a nightmare. Lisa fought me on everything. Our house, her house, my car, even my retirement damage savings. She demanded alimony, claiming she'd sacrificed her career for me, even though she'd been freelancing the whole time. Her texts got nastier, bragging about her affair partner, a guy named Derek. "He's twice the man you'll ever be," one message read. I saved every single one, my lawyer's advice echoing in my head. I tried to move on. Dating apps were a disaster. Swiping through profiles felt like a chore, and every date ended with me comparing them to the Lisa I thought I knew. But then I met Hannah. It was at a bookstore, of all places. I was browsing sci-fi, pulling out a worn copy of Dune. A voice behind me said, "Bold choice, but have you read Hyperion?" I turned, and there she was. Hannah, with warm brown eyes and a shy smile, holding a stack of books. We talked for an hour, then grabbed coffee. She was a high school English teacher, loved sci-fi as much as I did, and had this calm, grounded way about her that felt like coming home. On our first real date, I told her everything. Lisa, the betrayal, the divorce. I braced for her to run, but she just took my hand and said, "We all have scars. It's what you do with them that matters." For the first time in months, I felt hope. Hannah and I grew close fast. Movie nights, hikes, late night talks about life. 5 months in, I was falling for her hard. I thought the worst was behind me. I was wrong. It was a Saturday, sunny and crisp. Hannah and I were at the mall, laughing over a terrible pretzel we'd split. We were crossing the parking lot to my car when I heard an engine rev. Loud. Close. I turned, and a black SUV was barreling straight at us. Instinct took over. I grabbed Hannah, yanking her back just as the car swerved. It clipped her leg with a sickening thud. She screamed, collapsing. I dropped to my knees, shielding her, my heart hammering. The car stopped, then reversed, tires screeching like it was lining up for another hit. "Stay down," I yelled, covering Hannah. A crowd was forming, people shouting. A guy ran forward, banging on the car's hood. The driver hesitated, then sped off. Hannah was crying, clutching her leg. I called 911, my hands shaking. Paramedics arrived, and as they loaded her into the ambulance, a security guard pulled me aside. "We got the plates," he said, "and the cameras caught everything." At the hospital, Hannah's leg was broken in 2 places. She was in pain but stable. I sat by her bed, guilt eating me alive. This is my fault, I kept thinking. I did not know how yet, but I felt it. The next day, a detective called. "Mr. Carter, we've identified the driver. It's your ex-wife, Lisa." My blood ran cold. Lisa, I hadn't seen her since the divorce hearings, where she'd smirked across the courtroom, whispering to Derek. The detective explained. Security footage showed her circling the parking lot for 20 minutes, checking her makeup in the mirror before flooring it toward us. She'd planned it. They arrested her that night. I went to the station needing answers. Through a one-way window, I saw her, perfectly dressed, hair neat, face calm. She didn't look like someone who just tried to kill two people. She looked bored. The trial was surreal. Lisa's lawyer spun a story about her grief and mental breakdown after her dad's death. She took the stand, tears streaming, claiming she didn't mean to hurt anyone. But the evidence was ironclad. The footage, her text to Derek planning to scare us, even a search history on her phone for how to make an accident look real. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. Guilty on attempted murder and assault. 12 years. As the judge read the sentence, Lisa's mask slipped just for a second. Her eyes met mine and I saw it. Rage, but also defeat. I didn't cheer. I didn't feel triumphant. I just felt free. Hannah recovered fully, though she still limps on rainy days. We moved to a new city, a fresh start. Our new place has a little garden where she grows herbs, and we're planning our wedding for next spring. A small ceremony, just like I always wanted. Looking back, I see the red flags I missed with Lisa. The late nights, the coldness, the way she'd twist my words to make me doubt myself. But I also see the strength I didn't know I had. I rebuilt my life not once, but twice, and I found Hannah, who reminds me every day that love doesn't have to hurt. The biggest lesson? Trust your gut, but keep the receipts. Lisa didn't just break my heart. She tried to break me entirely. But she didn't. And that's my revenge. Living well, loving deeply, and leaving her to face the consequences of her choices. If this story hit you, drop a like and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And let me know in the comments, what's the biggest betrayal you've overcome? Thanks for listening.